Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive.
Today, I choose love. From my past, my future, to my family and friends, I choose love. With everything we've got going on in the world today, all the hate and negativity, love is all we have, and it's all we need. If you can start each day with love, you will watch your world change. But the time is now to forgive, to forget, to move on. Do this and your perspective will change. If I know one thing, I would rather live in a world with love and openness than a world full of pain. And it's our choice to believe in something bigger than us. One world, one people, one love.
Before we begin today's broadcast, we want to suggest that you go to our YouTube channel, Touched by the Light Publishing, and listen to some of our earlier shows. We want you to listen to show 8, We want you to listen to show 34, which is Commit to Your Self-Esteem. We want you to listen to show 39, Envy and Jealousy, and we want you to listen to show 42, The Consequences of Jealousy. We believe when you review this information, you will begin to understand the dynamics of your emotions. You do not want to allow your emotions to carry you to a position where you begin to make decisions that will harm your children and put their lives in jeopardy. Their lives will be in jeopardy if you go to prison. As simple as that. The state will take custody of your children, and they may put them in a situation where your children will never see their relatives again. You need to start seriously considering your behavior. You need to stop competing with women because their breast size is larger than your breast size, or that their derriere is larger than your derriere. Why should you have an operation to enlarge your butt where you can die and leave your children here unprotected? Just how important are larger breasts, and just how important is a larger butt compared to the lives of your children? You need to start really thinking. You keep bringing unrelated males into your home, insisting that your children call them daddy. This behavior is stupid, and I'll tell you why. First of all, you have no idea how that man was raised. You do not know if his mother told him, while in his listening to her talking to his sisters, his mother told his sisters never to bring unrelated men into the home because they could rape their children. Now, if this man heard his mother tell his sisters not to do that, and he's watching you do it, what do you think he thinks of you? You seem to think, when you bring these unrelated men into the house, that they are not evaluating you. Yes, they are. And when they come up with the conclusion that you're stupid and that you do foolish, silly things, they're going to start leaving. They're going to start looking around for another woman where they can go nest. Because that's all they're doing. All these men are doing are nesting. Why do you keep putting your children through this trauma when you know within a few months after this man gets in a better financial position, he's going to leave? Your children will grow up not respecting themselves. They will become victims of sexual predators and the worst of men. This is why, when reading the book, What You Must Do to Win, that the author keeps repeating the phrase that you must begin to think and to seek the help of a psychologist or a psychiatrist. When you keep repeating negative behavior over and over and over again, then it is time to seek professional help. How many my baby daddies are you going to have? We are not conducting these broadcasts to make you feel bad or to embarrass you, but we're trying to make you aware of your negative behavior. We are trying to save the lives of children. We know we can't save the child if we can't save the mother, because the mother is the primary caregiver. Listen to what I'm saying. We are trying to save the lives of children, but we cannot save the lives of children if we cannot influence the way their mothers think, because the mother is the primary caregiver. You need to change. We do not care if you wake up in the morning in a hotel room with a man that you do not know. You still need to change. You can redeem your life. You must believe. You do not have to tranquilize yourself with alcohols or drugs. You just need to start respecting yourself and loving yourself. You can do what lots of other people have done with their lives when they were losing. They stopped the losing behavior and became another person. We believe once you realize why you keep repeating this self-defeating behavior, you can learn your way out of this servo loop and begin living a more fulfilling and satisfying life. Yes, you're going to have to change your set of friends. Yes, you're going to have to let go of the past. Also, at the end of this broadcast, we want you to listen closely to what we have to say about self esteem. Now, back to today's broadcast. Toward the end of the book, What You Must Do to Win, the author has this to say. She says the Bible is the greatest self help and how to book ever written. She goes on to say, but have you paid any attention to its instructions, or are you waiting until you are old, bald, and infirmed before consulting God? Are you waiting for the hour of your death before saying, God, I would like to go to heaven? Is there room up there for me? What if God turns to you and says, I never knew you? Then what? You will never be with him in paradise. Therefore, an unexamined life is unworthy of you. You need to consider your motivation when you are dealing with other people. Examine why you give one grandchild more money than you do the other grandchildren. Read and find out what God has to say about favoritism, jealousy, envy, and anger. Why do you cut people off when you're driving or speed up when the man in front of you turns on his turn signal? Why are you so hateful every time a woman walks past you and her breasts are larger than yours? Why are your thoughts filled with evilness and self-loathing? Read and find out what God has to say about your envy and jealousy. Where has your humility gone? There is no light left in your spirit. Why can't you get along with your coworkers and your neighbors? Why is there so much strife in your life? Is your son in prison? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit there and wring your hands, or are you going to consult God for leadership ideas? Why have all your friends left you behind? What about the children born on the other side of the blanket, sir? Are you going to die and not acknowledge that you are their father? Just what are you going to do? More of the same, or are you going to go to God for advice and change your life? What you need to do is read, meet yourself, and change. If you are allowing emotions to rule your life rather than God's word, then you need to change. If you can sit and watch the news at night and listen to what man has to say, surely you can give a little time to God. Is there nothing you can do for God except go to church and tell the pastor, I really enjoyed your sermon, sir? How long are you going to go through life sucking up the food and air that God provided and you do nothing for God? Putting your 50 cents into the collection plate does not fulfill your obligation to God or the life he provided you. When you breathe your last breath, there is no more time to change. You need to consider that. There was a man in prison in Texas for 30 years to life. He was innocent. The innocent man was in prison and the guilty man was outside drinking beer and sunning himself. He, the killer, had made a bargain with the prosecutor to testify against the innocent man. The innocent man in Texas kept writing people until finally one of his letters reached an elderly woman. Now, for many, this woman was too old to be doing anything for anyone. Nevertheless, the woman believed the man who was in prison, and she began a writing campaign of her own. Finally, her letters reached a group of lawyers who agreed to re-examine the case. Their re-examination and the legal fight led to the innocent man being freed. What would have happened to this man if that woman had not believed she could make a difference? What would have happened to this innocent man if this woman did not believe she could do something to help God? There was an innocent man in prison in Alaska. A 78-year-old woman heard about his case and began writing lawyers to get him some help. He too was freed because a 78-year-old woman believed in herself and she believed that her life mattered. Is there not anything you can do for the Lord besides going to church and saying amen? Just because you are on the building committee does not make you a servant of the Lord. God said, help your fellow man, not go to church and be a deacon parading up and down around the church in your uniform, pretending to be important. Is there not anything you can think to do for the Lord besides praying? How long are you going to go to church, listening to the choir and having a good time? One of the world's greatest resistance movements was the Montgomery bus boycott. People put their lives on the line for one another. They faced an evil and they used their bodies to stand in the path of that evilness. Their actions changed the world. Their actions told people everywhere, even a poor man has power. You have power, but you do not use your power. You continue to believe what other men have told you. So every day, you sit with your cigarettes and drink away your life, imagining what you could do with your life if only such and such would happen. There are children suffering all over this world. Is there nothing you can do for the Lord to alleviate their suffering? God is not impressed that you are not a deacon in your church, nor is he impressed that you are a member of the usher board. What have you done for him? Being an usher or a deacon is a man-made assignment. Do you think that that is all God wants you to do for him, is to be a deacon or an usher at church? The second greatest commandment is love thy neighbor as thyself. Have you done this? Are you saying that there are no more possibilities to your life except being a deacon and an usher? What are you going to do today that is different than what you did yesterday? Are you going to sit and continue to brood over the circumstances of your life? Or are you going to take charge of your life and read a book to change? Are you going to allow God's word to heal your mind and cause action in your life? There is always one last morsel that you can snatch from life. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break. Will you help us? Our prison ministry is trying to reach women with sons and or brothers in prison. We would like for these women to help us with our ministry and halt the growing population of incarcerated men. If you know of someone with a loved one in prison, please contact us at 734-686-1444 or email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We must teach men to read, to keep them from entering prison or before they leave prison. Men are now entering prison for killing their children. This has to stop. If we can reduce these murders by teaching men to read, to think clearly, and to manage their emotions. Edward James Olmos said, education is a vaccine for violence. We must do everything we can in our power to stop these heinous murders. Please reach out to us. When we work together, we win.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Every day we wake and drive to work, and we see people walking around, smiling, giving the appearance of happiness, and we envy them. We wish that our lives were like theirs. We drive home and turn on the television, and we see people walking around smiling at their friends and spouses, and we envy them, and we wish we could live a life just like theirs. These thoughts bring misery into our lives because we believe what our eyes see. We accept what is in front of us as being true. We do not see the makeup artist in the background making the final touch-ups to the actor's face. We do not see the diet pills the actors shovel down their throats at night so they can avoid eating. We believe what we see, and what we see makes us miserable. We want to trade places. We begin to think, why could it not have been me? Why could I not have a car like that? Why could I not have a wife like that? Why could I not have a husband like that? Why could I not have a house like that? On and on the questioning continues until finally we are dissatisfied with the world around us. Why could I have not been born to parents like that? All these questions force us to turn inward, and we attack ourselves. We begin to say, I thought Mary would make a wonderful wife when I married her. Now she has grown fat. She complains every day. She never stops. I wake in the morning and she complains. I drive to work and she calls complaining. I come home at night and she complains. Will nothing change? Or you think, I thought Tom would make a great husband. Now I know all he thinks about is the next woman he's going to take to bed. I'm tired of watching him. I just don't care anymore. If he wants to take the entire neighborhood to bed, I don't care. How did I get here? Am I destined to live a life I do not want? A life I hate? Is there nothing going to change? Every day we make changes, we negotiate with ourselves. We make comparisons and we come up short, and we become more and more unhappy. This is why you must take action. Otherwise, your unhappiness will lead you to alcohol, drugs, petty feuds at work, extramarital affairs, obesity, then death. Yes, unhappiness can lead to death. This is why you must take control over your life. No matter where you find yourself, you must take control of your life. Taking control will not be immediate, but the more you work at reclaiming your life and restoring yourself, control will come. You must be careful when you start your reclamation process because others around you will not want you to change. They will want you to remain the unhappy person you have always been. If you decide to return to school, keep it to yourself. If you decide to buy a new house, keep it to yourself. If you decide to move out of state, keep it to yourself. People have gotten used to the old you, and the new you may have problems exerting authority over your life with others and putting a down payment on the future. You simply may want to learn to play the piano. Do not listen when someone tells you you're too old to learn to play. If you want to learn to play the piano, do just that. Read the ads in the paper and find a teacher or contact a local school for an instructor and begin learning to play the piano. This is your life, not anyone else's. Have you noticed how mean some older people are? The meanest comes from dissatisfaction. They spent their entire life doing what was expected of them, doing what someone else told them to do, and now they are 65, 70, or 80 years of age. They realize they never did what they wanted to do. Is that not enough to make one angry? Communication is the key. We spend a great deal of time learning to communicate with others. We should spend an equal amount of time learning to communicate with ourselves. We need to stay in touch with ourselves over the years. We need to ask ourselves, what is next? Am I following someone else's playbook? Are there any changes I can make to my life that will make me happy? After you determine what these changes are, you need to sit down and assess how easy or difficult these changes will be to achieve. The books You Are the Prophet of Your Life and The Devil's Cauldron give a different perspective on self-assessment. Knowing how to relate to others is just as important as knowing how we relate to ourselves. You'll be surprised at the reading. The books are not any other. The books are a good exercise for a reality check. The full complement of books on this website was written at great cost to the writer. Jealous, envy, and even hatred was explored. You will find Be Not Defeated in Hard Times, an acclamation to the human spirit. If you do not entertain defeat, you will keep on walking, talking, and working until you win. It is all a matter of goals and asking yourself, what do I want? You may say you want an F-150, but are you willing to work a second job to buy one? Or will you tell your wife why this truck is so important to you that you have to have one? It is all a matter of goals and self-examination. Why do you have to buy a dress every week? Why are you always trying to get the attention of Betty's husband? Out of all the men in the state, you have to try and attract someone else's husband? What does Betty have other than her husband that you envy, so that you have to take her husband to bed? Why was it necessary for you to sneak a peek in her dresser drawers and see how many panties she's had? Why does it make you feel better to humiliate others? Think about it. Why? Read and find your way out of the mess you're in. Reading and considering another point of view can incite you to a new idea or spark your imagination that will lead you to change.
I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break. Okay, we're going to continue our discussion of being a person who is developing belief and power in themselves. Associated with being a powerful and believing person is a person who is an opportunist. See, you have to be aware that some of your behavior has to be associated with talking and meeting and greeting and associating with people. And a lot of times you can actually hurt yourself by not being open to talking and greeting and meeting people. And you miss out on various opportunities. Not everyone pays full price for a car or a house or a pair of shoes. A lot of times they get reduced prices based on people that they know, that they met and took an opportunity to introduce themselves and become associates of these people. Think about it for a while. Think about all the people that you need in your life. Sometimes you need information from a real estate broker. Sometimes you'll need information from a guy who sells cars, or somebody that sells insurance. You are not an island unto yourself. You need other people. So you have to take opportunity to meet these people and greet these people and establish a relationship. These are the fundamentals of life. I'm not saying that you meet and greet these people to abuse and use them, but you form associations that is good for both of you. Now, the sole purpose of this portion of my show is to talk to you about being an opportunist. I want you to listen to me carefully because earlier I spoke to you about power and belief. Well, a kissing cousin to power and belief is being an opportunist. An opportunist is a person who believes in the day. This is a person who believes good fortune is coming his way. He is a person that believes he is going to meet the right person, say the right thing, or do the right thing that will bring him an opportunity that will further him in his life, bring him fortune. An opportunity is not a sad sack, okay? He's not one that's gloom and doom all the time. An opportunist is a person who's looking forward to the day. Before I get into the talk, the discussion, who is an opportunist? According to a dictionary, an opportunist is a person who adapts his actions and responses to take advantage of opportunities or circumstances. I will say it again. An opportunist is a person who adapts his action and responses to take advantage of opportunities or circumstances that present themselves to him. And please do not get upset with the pronouns that I use because I'm discussing this with respect to both males and females. A politician once said, An opportunist does not wait for a grand opportunity to come about. He simply transforms events to exploitable situations. An opportunist is a person who looks forward to life. He looks forward to what the day will bring. When he sees rain, he does not feel sad. He is a person who believes something good can happen to him on a rainy day, just as something good can happen to him on a sunny day. And opportunists are people who whistle. These are people who sing to themselves. They hum a tune as they drive to work or walk into an office building looking for a job, because this person believes it's just as easy for the interviewer to say yes as it is for an interviewer to say no. So they do not walk into an interview with their stomach churning, thinking that the interviewer is going to say no. They tell themselves, I have a 50-50 chance just like everyone else to get this job or buy this house or get this car. Contrary to what many might believe or forced to believe, being an opportunist does not mean you are selfish. It means you are not confined to a box or a space, and you already allow your creativity to flow. You pushed to where you are meant to be. It means you look ahead and you decide what opportunities are worth taking. When you change your thinking and perception toward a more opportunistic mindset, you can take advantage of a lot of opportunities in your everyday life. Opportunity itself is based on the way we view things, and that's the more reason why many people who are capable of discovering great opportunities that will turn their life around, they fail to do so. Why? Because they ignore these opportunities unknowingly. They're in a habit. These people are in a habit of rejecting things without thinking about it, because they develop these habits based on someone else's tradition, based on what someone else has told them to do. You have to shake these traditions off. Every occasion, you do not have to be like your grandfather or your father or your uncle or your nephew. Be yourself. An opportunist does not walk around with preconceived ideas, categorizing people. In other words, he or she does not look at a person's handbag or shoes and decide whether or not a person is worthy to speak to. In other words, an opportunist is not a snob. Opportunists do not make assumptions about the worthiness of people that they meet. They do not make assumptions that just because a person is wearing Kmart clothes that they are poor and not worthy of attention. Because some people who wear Kmart clothes are millionaires. They live in a fine house and are able to afford the finest of foods. They are just people who believe in only spending their money prudently. So you see, one of the great characteristics of an opportunist is a person that does not make assumptions, and they are a person who does not categorize people. They are people who believe that they should inquire as to whom a person is before they make a judgment. First of all, there are a lot of brilliant attorneys who walk around with some of the most plain clothing on as possible. But if you put these people into a courtroom, they are some of the greatest advocates. Most social scientists do not believe in dressing. They put the first thing on that they find when they get up in the morning. Some of them, they walk to work and have brown and black shoes on at the same time, or red and yellow socks. Why? Because they're paying more attention to what they have to do than attention to how they look or appear to others. You need to stop judging people based on the way that they look, because you will never be able to take advantage of any opportunity that presents itself, because you are shallow, because you associate fineness with clothing, not fineness of the mind based on behavior. Some of the greatest con artists in the world dress in fine clothing, but they're worthy of nothing. And you want one of those people that would be hoodwinked by some of those people who dress in fineries. So how can you become an opportunist? First of all, you have to be prepared to take swift action at all times. Sometimes we miss out on opportunities because we keep thinking there will be a better one lying around the corner. To become an opportunist, You have to be decisive. Don't spend too much time waiting, hoping, and praying for an ideal situation. Take action. Look at the people that you meet. Avail yourself of a conversation with them. You never know who you will meet on an elevator just by saying hello. Secondly, you need to open your heart and your mind and be aware of your environment, because your ability to discover something new, a new opportunity, rests solely on the awareness of your environment and your surroundings. Having this awareness increases your chance of discovering new opportunities, and this will play a significant role in your processing the world. You have to be interested in people and things. You might be riding an elevator with a great inventor looking for investors, and you will not know it if you do not smile and strike up a conversation. You cannot be an opportunist if you are afraid of people, if you do not have the courage to walk up to someone at a party that you do not know and say hello. You can easily start a conversation with a person standing alone at a party. You can make a statement congratulating the host, asking the person if they know the host personally, and that you were glad that you were invited to the party. You have to be willing to be creative when talking with people. In conclusion, I want you to understand that you can be an opportunist without being unethical or immoral. Remember, an opportunist is a person that takes advantage of a good situation when it presents itself to him or her. A family may be moving out of town and they have to sell their home. You just happen to be in the right place at the right time to purchase the house or the car, etc. For you to be a good opportunist, you have to focus on your mindsets, on elements of your life like your family, business, community, and personal development. Being an opportunist is the only way to succeed. According to an author, Craig, last name spelled Lunsbrough, we stand around waiting for the big opportunity while we bypass all the small opportunities that would have created that big opportunities that we seek. Be the opportunist who sees a win in every situation. No matter how small or insignificant these situations may appear, start practicing today.
Life is too short for you to be unhappy. Life is too short for you to surround yourself with anything but positivity. And that's what we need to talk about now, dealing with toxic people. Now, we can't change all of our relationships, but we can change some. Some of us might come from families that are not supportive, and some of us come from families and have friends that are very supportive. And that's what we need to figure out now. Who is helping you? Who truly supports you as a person? Who wishes you all the success in the world? Those are the people you need to be around. Those are the people you need to stay connected with. I want you to think about 5 people that you talk to or hang out with the most. Of those 5 people, how many of them are positive influences on your life? How many of those people are helping you build the foundation to your success? And for the people who are not, are you willing to cut them out of your life? Is it worth having people around you that don't believe in you? Positive thoughts attract positive outcomes. And until you can change who you let around you and how much they influence you, you will continue down the same path. But the time is now. You can no longer let negative influences impact your goals. Your new chapter starts right now. Think about the positive people. Think about building with them, connecting with them, because they will be the positive influence that you need to help succeed in your life. They will be the driving force for you to live your best life. Anything that you want in this life can be obtained. You just need to believe. Believe in yourself. You are strong. You are beautiful. You are resilient. You are what we call the women of courage. And your time is now. There are no victims in this life. So I'm asking you, are you ready to make a change? Are you ready to fight for what you want? Are you ready to fight for your dreams? If you are, it starts now. This is the Women of Courage.
Remember, if you miss one of our shows, you can visit our YouTube channel at Touched by the Light Publishing to watch and listen to previous episodes of Women of Courage. Thank you. Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of 1 million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach 1 million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Remember, self-esteem is confidence in one's own worth or ability. Self-esteem also denotes self-respect. Those individuals who have low self-esteem usually undergo assertive training to build their confidence. See, without self-esteem, or if you have extremely low self-esteem, you will make yourself satisfied with a low-paying job. You will not fight back to go to school so you can get a better paying job. If you have low self-esteem, you will settle for someone telling you what you can and cannot do with your life. That you need to be satisfied with a used car, satisfied with a wife or a husband you do not love or desire. Self-esteem is your overall sense of self-worth or personal value. It denotes how much you appreciate and like yourself. Self-esteem is a personality trait, which means that it tends to be stable and enduring. Self-esteem encompasses belief in oneself. For example, I am unloved, I am worthy. So as well as an emotional state such as triumph, despair, pride, and shame. One thing I want you to note, women with very low self-esteem allow males to come into their home and mistreat their children or rape and kill their children. We're going to have a discussion of this later on this year, because a young boy was just killed by a woman's boyfriend by her allowing him to abuse her boyfriend because she had low self-esteem. Now, self-esteem is important because it heavily influences a person's choices and decisions. In other words, self-esteem serves as a motivational function by making it more or less likely that a person will take care of themselves and explore their full potential. Again, self-esteem is a motivating factor. Self-esteem will make you fight. It will make you stand up against the opposition. It will make you stay up at night reading textbooks after textbooks to reach your goal to be a mathematician or an engineer or a programmer. Self-esteem is the ground on which we stand. It is our foundation. It is the foundation of our beliefs. If you think you can win, then there is hope and possibility. If you do not think you can win, then there is what? A void. Think about it. What keeps a person going when every attempt he has made at winning has failed? What keeps a person catching the bus early in the morning, during sleet, rain, or snow, going to college for 6 or 7 years? What keeps a person working 2 jobs day in and year out, trying to save enough money to purchase a home, to purchase a car, to save enough money to go back to school, even though this person does not have family support? There are thousands of parents every year that do not help their children go back to school. These parents do absolutely nothing in terms of actually encouraging their children. They could go get a job, a part-time job at McDonald's, and help curb the cost of their child's tuition, but they don't do it. So when you see a person standing up against odds, against their family's behavior, that person is determined and that person has self-esteem. You are not going anywhere without a healthy dose of self-esteem and belief in yourself and hope. I know many of you may think that all you have to do is work tirelessly at throwing a basketball or running down the football court or talking loud and fast, and that's going to make your life for you. It will not. The key to success is belief in yourself and persistence. Dale Carnegie said you must persist. If you're trying to get the help of someone, you must pursue that person. You can extrapolate from the behavior of Michael Jordan or President Abraham Lincoln. You must persist. You keep pursuing your goal over and over and over again, day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out. Michael Jordan mastered the basketball because he believed in himself. Abraham Lincoln became president because he believed in himself. Abraham Lincoln ran in every election in the public arena. He even ran for dog catcher. He ran until he finally got elected. The foundation of persistence is self-esteem. Those with low self-esteem either give up or they never try. If the following describes you, then you may be suffering from low self-esteem and you need to see a counselor for help. Do you try and act happy and successful, but actually you are terrified of failure? Do you live with the constant fear that you will be found out? Do you wear a mask of positive self-esteem? Do you have problems with perfectionism, procrastination, competition, and burnout? Do you act like the opinions or the goodwill of others, especially people who are important or powerful, don't matter? Are you angry all the time or feel like you are not good enough? Do you have the need to prove that the judgments and criticisms of others don't hurt? Are you always fighting authority? Or are you the helpless and unable to cope with the world and wait for someone to come to rescue you? Do you use self-pity or indifference as a shield against fear or taking responsibility for changing yourself? Do you look repeatedly to others for guidance? This behavior can lead to such problems as unassertiveness, unachievement, and excessive reliance on other relationships. Are you always blaming someone else for your circumstances or situations? Do you always say, if so-and-so had done this or that, this wouldn't have happened. These are all signs of an individual with low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, please seek counseling. It can help change your life. The problems that you encounter in defeating your low self-esteem is that you do not believe in yourself and you have formed a habit of not believing in yourself, and you have surrounded yourself with low achievers and non believers. I'm going to say this again. The problem that you are encountering in defeating your low self esteem is that you do not believe in yourself and you have formed a habit of not believing in yourself, and you have surrounded yourself with low achievers and non believers. Consequently, you have stopped growing and you are stagnant in your behavior. Unwittingly, you turn people off with who are high achievers and people who want more out of life. These people have left you by the wayside. Look around you. How many friends have you lost? How many friends have moved away and never looked back? They did not give you their forwarding address or phone number. Do not tell yourself that you lost your friends because they have more money than you, that they think they're better than you. Face the fact that you ran these people away. You refuse to grow up. You refuse to grow. You refuse to change. You are depressing to be around. You always have a problem that is never solved. You are boring and unpleasant to be around. You are unwilling to learn new things, to push harder, to get the things that you want. Face it, you are always looking for the easy way out. Maybe you lost these friends because they did not want to become involved in your silly criminal behavior. Maybe they valued their families more than you valued your children. They were not going to go to jail over a few easy dollars. Yes, that is correct. When you do not believe in yourself, that lack of belief leads you into criminal behavior because you become entangled with the word easy. Without thinkers in your life, you do not have anyone to introduce new and fresh ideas to you. So it is about time for you to learn to believe in yourself. If you can develop the habit of not believing in yourself, why can't you develop the habit of believing in yourself? You need to work at developing a positive habit of thinking. You need to develop a mantra. The problem is you do not believe, so how can I get you to believe? The first thing I want you to do is to leave low achievers alone. You need to find some better friends. You need to find some friends that actually know how to think and problem solve. Second of all, you need to start telling yourself, complimenting yourself on what you do well. You need to develop a mantra which says, I am going to change, I have changed, I'm going to find me a job, blah, blah, blah. In other words, I'm telling you to begin forming a habit of believing in yourself and stop looking backward and stop your criminal behavior.
Don't be discouraged. Yes, you can live a life you want to and be the person you want to. Be a goal-getter. Take this bold step to order and purchase these life-changing books so as to learn the detail of the struggles and limitations women faced before becoming the icons they are today. Then you can avoid mistakes too. I'm going to be honest with you here. There's only one inspirational book which has encouraged me not to be fearful as a woman, but to take a bold but little step to changing my low self-esteem and total life situation positively, so quickly and greatly. My little secret has been the books titled Women of Courage. This book has been so amazing and knowledge-packed. Before now, there hasn't really been a right, perfect time to do the right or perfect thing. Most often than not, I've continued to wait for the right time to have things done, but it always never comes. Not until I got hold of the books, Women of Courage. To gain knowledge and becoming a woman of purpose, only then I was able to create the perfect and right time to grab every opportunity that confronted me. I was strong and determined never to get too comfortable and to stop growing. I was able to use and control my anger and temper for the right course. I became the woman of courage that was not deterred of what people say. I created and took advantage of every opportunity where people saw as limitations. Thanks to the story of many courageous and determined women of history. Interesting, isn't it? The success story of many women who read the book convinced me. Here I am, more refined, courageous, and living the kind of life I have always hoped for. You too can become the woman of courage and purpose everyone would admire, just like me. You have 3 choices. You can sit on your couch and do nothing. You can participate sometime hardly doing anything. Or you can step into the future that you designed. The decision is yours. What are you waiting for? You either stand up for yourself with the chance of winning or failing, or grow old, mean, bitter, and hateful, driving your children to run from home or move to another state because of your archaic ideas. Time is running out. What are you going to do?
Thank you for listening to Women of Courage, and have a great day.
Yeah.